The Christmas Pig, written by J.K. Rowling, illustrated by Jim Field. Chapter 18. The Prisoner. Two lost adjusters, a hole punch, and a fork were dragging a small and muddy thing along between two lines, using the strong and spindly arms that so many things seemed to grow in the land of the lost. Their prisoner was so filthy that it was almost impossible to see what he really was, although he seemed furry. "Please," the prisoner squeaked. "Please give me a ticket. Let me stay for an hour. Oh, please, please, give me a chance. Somebody might want me. Oh, let me try." As the lost adjusters drew level with Jack and the Christmas pig, Jack saw what the sobbing prisoner was. A tiny blue cuddly bunny who looked as though he'd lain in mud for days, if not weeks. Jack couldn't understand why the lost adjusters were being such bullies to the poor bunny. The fork was poking him to force him along faster, and every time the bunny squealed in pain, the hole punch laughed, opening and shutting so that little circles of paper flew from her like confetti. They dragged their prisoner straight past two of the lost adjusters' desks and headed toward what looked like a metal manhole cover in the floor, which Jack hadn't noticed before. "You belong to the loser, you do," said the hole punch. "Now stop making a scene in front of all these distant things what have got owners up top." "Why are they treating him like that?" Jack whispered to the Christmas pig, who merely shook his head, looking stricken. "Is it because he's dirty?" Jack asked, thinking of grubby old DP. What if DP had been treated like that when he'd arrived in mislaid? "Never mind the bunny," said the Christmas pig, suddenly looking determined. "This is your chance, Jack. Crawl." "What?" said Jack. "Crawl past the lost adjusters quickly while everyone's watching the bunny. I'll meet you on the other side." Now Jack understood. Everybody was transfixed by the prisoner and his captors, even the lost adjusters at the desks. Jack sank to his knees, crawled past the sapphire ring, and through the gap between two desks toward the group of things that had already been located and were standing in front of the wooden door. These things were far too interested in the fate of the prisoner to notice Jack hadn't joined them. Standing up, he turned to watch what was happening to the bunny now. "Please," he was squealing. "Oh, please, give me a chance. There are no chances for things like you," crowed the fork as the bunny struggled. "Nobody wants you. Nobody cares you're lost. You're surplus." The hole punch dragged aside the heavy manhole cover to reveal a dark hole. The bunny gave frightened squeaks as the fork prodded him closer and closer to the edge. At last, the little bunny slipped and fell. They heard his cry of terror growing fainter and fainter, as though he was sliding away down a chute. And then his scream was silenced by the hole punch slamming the metal lid back over the tunnel entrance. The two lost adjusters straightened their black hats and hopped away, looking pleased with themselves. Slowly, all the things who'd watched this horrible scene began to talk again. A plastic comb standing beside Jack whispered, "Wasn't that dreadful?" He had an odd appearance, having one eye on each side of him, and was speaking from a gap between his prongs. "Yes," said Jack, "it was horrible." He felt as though one of them should have tried to help the bunny instead of watching him get thrown down the chute. He wished he'd done something. But then he might have been recognized as a living boy and perhaps made to leave the land of the lost before he could find DP. It's disgusting the way they treat surplus, said the battery standing beside the comb, keeping her voice low in case a lost adjuster heard. The Christmas pig had now reached the front of the nearest line. The corkscrew lost adjuster, which had just sent the sapphire ring to wait beside the golden door, had a loud voice, so Jack was able to hear everything that passed between him and the pig. "Name?" asked the corkscrew. "The Christmas pig." "Where were you made?" "Dingle Down Factory, Birmingham." "Date and place of enlivening?" "This afternoon," said the Christmas pig. "In the Pendleton toy shop." "And they've lost you already?" "Toot toot," said the corkscrew. He examined the long list in front of him. "Christmas, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. Yes, here you are, Christmas pig. Oh dear, nobody seems to like you very much, do they?" "I'm a replacement," said the Christmas pig. "Ah," said the corkscrew with a smirk, twisting in his chair. "Yes, replacements sometimes work out and sometimes not. In your case, I see it's not. But you're still brand new, so if anyone finds you, they will probably find a use for you. Charity shop, I expect. Wooden door." So the Christmas pig hurried to join Jack's crib beside the wooden door, which now swung open.